have been lost in the Bermuda Triangle, and the area is shrouded in unsolved mysteries. But on season 4 of The Real Housewives, Bermuda turned out to be the perfect setting for the finale. This is where I warn of spoilers. So if anyone hasn't finished the season, you might want to come back later. Because we find out that reality Von Teese is no longer a mystery. We also find out how Heather got her black eye, and trust is lost for good. Drama follows these housewives from San Diego to Bermuda this season, and it is one heck of a ride. My friend Maggie from the floor is here to unpack the chaos. Welcome back, Maggie.
Oh my goodness. What a season. You think after Jen Shaw going to jail, what can they do?
Right.
And then
And then they do,
the end of
and then
that
they do it.
season.
They're like, hold my
The end of
beer.
that season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hold my beer.
amazing.
You think that was hard? Yeah. For listeners, it's been a hot minute since Maggie and I've been able to coordinate and do this, and each time we're like, oh my gosh, we got to reschedule, and I'm like, but, and I've just had so much I've wanted to say, so I did
Yeah.
recently rewatch the recap reunion with Andy Cohen to remind myself because it was such a packed season that I felt like there were like 4 seasons in one. I'm like, did this really
Yeah.
all happen in season 4? I felt like no, but it did, didn't it?
A lot of big storylines in this season. I mean,
And new
is
people.
Angie in the Greek mafia?
Oh yeah, we
What's going
forgot
on
to
with her
say that.
husband?
I know whether or not Sean is gay or she's in the Greek mafia. Those mysteries, I think, are still dangling into season 5. I don't know if we can
Yeah, what
trust.
an intro into Salt Lake City housewivesness. Like, this is your first season and these are the things coming out about you. Like,
Yes, yes. Let's
wow.
tackle. What I was trying to think of how to structure the chaos and break it down, not just for ourselves, but for folks who are also fans of the show. And I'm thinking we just go by housewife. I think that's the best way because
Okay,
everything
yeah,
else is
that makes
intertwined. And
sense.
I think if we're going to go alphabetically, let's hit up Angie Katsanevas, who's
Yeah.
very Greek and very proud of being Greek and wants everyone to know she's very Greek. And that's
Yeah.
about all we know about her from the beginning. But we start to learn a little more, like you said, maybe a little more than we wanted to know. So what's your take? Do you think Sean swings both ways? Let's just start off with it. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think he's like the oh my goodness, remembering names and stuff right now because it's been a minute. But yeah, like the Vita Tequila lady, her husband. Like
Oh,
I think he's just kind of like a little lapdog to his wife,
so he's
kind
he's
of
like a
thing.
John. He's like a smaller John Barlow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think he's a smaller John Barlow. And I don't know. Seems like they've got some crazy stuff going on in
that's
behind
fair.
closed doors in Salt Lake
That's
City.
fair. I mean, okay. I don't want to spill the tea like per se and get all gossipy, but I'm just trying to put the signs together. And let's be
Yeah,
honest, the only thing we have to work with is what Bravo has edited for us. We've got nothing else. We don't have insights into those women or their husbands or their children. We don't live in Salt Lake. We haven't heard anything firsthand, secondhand, third hand. It's all Bravo. But I've got to say, I do believe there's strain in their marriage. I believe if
yeah.
if the
Oh
daughter's
yeah,
been
the
sleeping with him, if
kids sleeping
Electra's
in the
sleeping with
bed.
him, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the intimacy seems gone. And I think
yeah.
Angie laments that to a degree, although she doesn't come right out and complain. She seems almost on the offensive about it. Like, yeah, well, we haven't had a date in 2 years, but we're busy being mom and dad, and Electra's just amazing, and we just are putting all of our focus into our kid right now. Kind of not
Yeah.
like dancing around it. And I'm wondering, he seemed more upset about the adultery aspect of the rumor than the sexuality aspect of the
From
rumor. But
yeah, being gay.
it did seem interesting that it wasn't just Monica who had heard things. Monica, we learned
Yeah.
later, was like the premier, I'll edit us, but the poop stirrer, if you will. And so she was mucking
Yeah.
all of this stuff up. But it seemed like people had said they'd heard that around town, that Sean had, better be careful because, and I even think Meredith Marks alluded that Brooks might have known or said something. I thought I got a whiff of that. So
Oh yeah.
you just don't know. But there's clearly something lacking in their marriage. Now, whether he would ever step outside is beyond our supposition. But I do think it leaves it open to see what's going to happen in season 5. and what else we'll learn. I
Mm.
will say I did have this one moment when she had her dad over and they were cooking that lemon soup, and he's like,
Oh my
"Where's Sean?"
goodness.
You remember? He's like, "Where's Sean? He's supposed to join us for dinner." And she's like, "Oh, he went down to the salon. He'll be back." And then the
It's
camera
working out
catches
later.
Sean coming in, and he's like, "Hi, but I'm gonna go shower." And I was like, "Where were you, Sean?"
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's
Like,
in
what in the
every
salon
in every
means
rom
you have to
com.
shower? Did you remember that? Did you catch
Yeah,
that?
like that's just the classic.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I caught that. I was,
yeah,
excuse me.
yeah. Like if my
That's
husband said I'm going to
with
the
all of this
office,
stuff coming out.
yeah. Like, well, if your guy says, "Oh, honey, I'm
There's
going to go to the
no
office," and
other
comes
thing to
home
say.
and goes straight to the shower and like doesn't even kiss you, I'd be sus. So I'm gonna be curious to see what else do we think
Yeah,
of
I
Lynn. What do you think of her, Maggie? Would you be friends with her?
no, no. She
Okay,
seems just unhinged. That was way too, that was very fast. But she just was just weird. Like not Mary Cross or kind of weird, but like weird. Right? Am
yeah,
I saying the right names? Not like
yeah, no,
Mary
yeah, Mary
weird. Mary
Cosby.
Crosby
Yeah,
weird, but like yeah, she's just trying to instigate things and pushing buttons. And it's like you could just hang out and have a drink. Like we don't need to talk about this right now. Why do we have to do this?
yeah, I agree. I think my first sign of not liking her that much was crashing the San Diego trip. I mean, uh,
Yeah, that was so rude. That was so weird. Like even though you did it, like you didn't have to make it creepy and make your T-shirt and
right.
just
Right. No, wait.
sounds
I don't know if that
weird.
was San Diego or Palm Springs. I get them confused, but the one where Meredith planned it at the Trixie
Oh
Motel.
yeah, Palm Springs.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what on earth makes you think you could accept a third party invitation? By the way, Whitney's a hot mess. We'll get to her later, probably last since her name starts with a
yeah.
W. But
Whitney. Oh my goodness.
she, first of all, invites her. And instead of Angie going, I haven't been formally invited by the hostess, it's just not, you know, it's not good etiquette. I'm not going to do that. She just jumps on it, like, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
And
at
then,
least say
and then
something.
yeah, and then makes the T-shirt and acts like she's the victim because Meredith doesn't want to acknowledge her. I go, oh my gosh, you've got problems. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm going to be interested
yeah.
to
It's
see.
just it's forced, very forced.
And we learned she used to be friends with Jen Shaw, right? Isn't that kind of how she got introduced to some of this?
Yeah,
Was they had a past, right? Um,
yeah,
yeah, I'll be really curious. I don't know. I didn't love the Easter. I thought Greek Easter was so over the top. She basically made a speech like she's the Messiah. She was
yeah.
talking about like
Like
Jesus
she's
did
got like
sacrifice.
she's Jesus.
Yeah. Yes. She's like, well,
Yeah,
Jesus, he it's all about redemption and resurrection and I've been through a lot and I'm coming out. I'm like, oh, you did not. Like you did not just compare yourself to Jesus. Like
we
in
don't
front of
need to
the
do
priest.
that. Yeah,
So
right.
I don't know. She's got some issues. We're gonna see what happens with that. She does
Mm,
have a heck of a lot of money, and so I can see how the mafia thing may
yeah,
have taken some traction. That seems a little interesting. She's self-made, she says. She and Sean have these salons, but wow, she's got quite a bit of wealth. I'm a little curious if there's more behind that. I guess maybe we'll see. I don't know. Who's next? Who's
yeah.
next
We'll see.
alphabetically?
Heather.
Sure. And if we miss somebody, we'll double back. But
Yeah,
yeah, oh,
yeah.
Heather. Black eye, Heather. Finally, she comes clean. Finally. After all
Right,
the
and
lies.
tells us what all of us knew.
We
We
all knew
knew,
it. We all knew it.
obviously.
Yeah. We knew
Yeah,
there weren't spider eggs in her eye. We knew that she didn't, run into a bedpost. I mean, we're not dumb. But good
yeah,
grief. What another bomb to drop at dinner in Bermuda, huh?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, but
She was excited to be the person to break the news for everything.
she really was. I would agree with that. Almost just
Yeah,
giddy about it. What do you think
yeah.
about what do you think about her transformation? Did you see any growth in her in this season at all, or regression?
No,
What are your thoughts?
it's she seems like she's reverting backwards. It seems like she's trying to, I don't know, like because Whitney's younger and stuff, she's trying to like, what if I'm the cute young free wild Mormon instead of Whitney? Like She's
Yeah,
just kind of like reverted backwards.
yeah, I thought so, and kind of living vicariously through her daughter, right, and her daughter's college experience.
Yeah,
But curiously,
yeah,
toward the end of season 4, you've got that scene where Monica asks about, I think she asks at dinner, like, when's the last time you had sex? Oh, I think it was in her cave dinner, her birthday dinner in Bermuda. Do you
yeah.
remember?
The birthday cave dinner. Yeah,
Yeah, and she said something
yeah.
like, when's the last time
She
you had
asked when's
sex?
the last time.
And Heather's like, I'm not going to answer that. But like in season 1 and season 2, she was all about getting that D, right? She's like, oh, I'm going to go out with this guy and that guy, and I'm no longer a Mormon. I'm not wearing my garments. I can't wait to sow my oats. And now she's kind of
Yeah,
almost like pulled back from that and has this weird chasteness. Like, I'm not going to talk about sex. That seemed odd to me.
yeah. Yeah, I think with like the release of her book and being like the bad Mormon, she's still like, I still want to be like, I like some of the decency that was instilled in me, or like it's like the trauma that was like made them think that they were sorry, sorry, sorry. So like the rules of being modest and not talking about stuff and everything, like she really doubled back into that. I think she's upset with how this huge backlash of her book from the Mormon community and stuff, and so she's like trying to be a little bit better,
That's a good
but
point.
it's just coming out like trauma. It's just coming out you've gone through trauma and you can't talk about sex.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point. I think she was full of bravado about kind of pushing against the Mormon doctrine and really rejecting all of her Mormon upbringing and kind of almost reinventing herself. And
Yeah,
maybe in an effort to get everybody to read the book, maybe in kind of this big publicity, push of kind of living this bold new life. But then when the book finally came
yeah,
out, and you're right, maybe a lot of her friends and family withdrew from her, and she feels a little like she's got to pull back. I don't know. I'm curious. She really seemed to me to be lost, probably the most lost
yeah,
of any housewife by the end,
absolutely,
right? Like I
yeah,
don't even know who
like,
she is or what she wants. And that's kind of sad because she seems to have a lot going for her, but she kept just seeming like she was full of self-loathing and regret, and then at the same time just full of fire. I don't know. I
yeah.
guess we'll see. I assume she comes back on season 5. I haven't cheated
Well,
to
I'm
see
sure.
who's on the cast, but
Yeah,
she's like the OG. So I think she and Meredith and Lisa will definitely be on. Whitney probably
yeah.
too. I guess we'll find out because it's already up. So I feel silly saying I don't know, but I really don't because I'm trying to
Yeah,
like
I
live
I
it in
have to
real
like
time.
not look at it until we finish the recap.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. We got Lisa up next.
Lisa.
Lisa Barlow.
Okay, so here's the funny thing: the Mormonism thing. This kills me every season, and you
She's a
have a little bit
Jack
more.
Mormon.
Yes, you know more
Yeah.
about Mormonism than I do because I think we've established you have at least family adjacent, right? That's connected to
Yeah.
Mormonism or was. This idea of Jack's mission and how she
Yeah.
hid it from Heather, didn't want Heather to tell her anything that would make her feel bad or what have you. What are your
Yeah.
feelings about this, about Jack's mission? This 16, 17-year-old kid who, like, the whole concept seems really strange to me. Do you have any thoughts about it? Or do you know anybody who's been on a Mormon mission?
Yeah, I know some people that have been on Mormon missions, and it's a really exciting time. It's you're young, it's instead of taking a year off and like going on your own around Europe or something like that, like some richer kids do. It's the church teaches you a language, or they pick a place that you're going to go. They teach you that language in 3 months, and then you go on your mission for 2 years. You can only call home on Christmas and Mother's Day, and I think you can get
Really?
some letters and stuff sometimes, but that's you're gone for 2 years.
Wow. So there was a
Yeah, it's
moment,
really intense.
there's a
Yeah,
moment when Heather says something, and then Lisa's like, "Oh, I can visit him whenever I want, but I just don't want to derail him from his mission. I don't want to interrupt him. I don't want to pull away
I'm
his
like, no,
focus."
you cannot.
I think she's fooling herself, right then?
Yeah, that's not something that you can do. You don't get to, especially like she's not a full-blown actual member of the church. Like, she's not allowed in the temples, like she
Right.
had said. It's a
Right.
specific thing. Like, you have to be, like, indoctrinated into the religion. You have to be baptized in the religion to be allowed in the temples. She's not. She's she gets to go to like some side churches and stuff that are LDS, but she cannot. She's not worthy to be in the temples
Right.
in
But
their
John is,
religion.
right? Is that our understanding? Is that John is more
Yeah,
like fully in, like,
yeah, he is. Yeah, he did a mission in Vegas. They said, which
yeah.
is a huge place with so many Mormons in Vegas. It's
So
insane.
interesting. I was so
Yeah.
interested personally. I'm interested in the ways in which older traditions are trying to maintain relevance and keep
Hmm.
young people, right? Particularly religion, right? But any older organization, Daughters of the American
Yeah.
Revolution, you pick one that's kind of like old school and they're trying to not
Yeah.
die out, right? And religion is tough because, the numbers are telling us, stats are telling us that fewer and fewer young people go to church or admit to being part of any organized religion. So a lot of these religions are in, quite frankly, kind of a moment, like, a pivotal moment of potential extinction if they don't
Yeah.
get the new people in, right? So I thought it was pretty interesting the way that they really tried to, like, almost Gen Z, the whole mission thing, like in Jack's party, and he kept calling it like the
Yeah,
mish,
that's
like I'm
really
going on
interesting.
the mish, and
Yeah.
then they talked about wearing the garments. He's like wearing the G's, and it's like I was like, what are you guys talking about? Like trying to make it hip and trending and like a
Yeah.
TikTok reel for Mormonism, and I was like, I don't know. And I think Heather's the only one who really smelled the smoke on that.
It's
It's
creepy
like,
what they're doing. I
yeah,
mean, they're making it exciting for these kids because they get to go somewhere that they never thought they would go to in the world. Especially if you're a very staunch Mormon, which if you're going on a mission, then you've been baptized. It's a huge thing. Majority of the time, you will find your spouse there because you're not doing anything until you find your spouse. So most of the time, once you're 18 and you're not at your parents' house anymore,
oh.
you're you'll most likely behave like you're supposed to, but you're gonna find your spouse.
But it kind of fast tracks
Um,
the hormone attachment,
and you
right?
gotta
If I
and
want to
they
take these
you know
G's off, I've got to find somebody here who's also a Mormon and just kind of boom.
yeah, and I mean it's a lot of religions that preach abstinence and stuff, but this is
Sure.
like literally here's and they're keep them separate. Everybody's safe. Like nothing happens or anything like that. Like I've heard good stories about that kind of thing where they're like we're trying to make the idea of temptation like trying to help them keep it away and maybe to a bit extreme obviously, but like the girls that go on missions and stuff are safe and everything, but most likely you're going to connect with somebody that you're in the group with and you're
That's
probably going to end up
interesting.
being with. I mean, so he said I could talk about it. So my husband is the one who had been on a Mormon mission.
Oh, no way.
He's no longer, yeah, he's
Oh,
no longer, but
thank him in
he,
advance. Thank him in advance for being
yeah,
willing to educate. This is not about shaming or judging.
yeah.
It's educating based on.
No, we speak about it respectfully. It's very intense. I wasn't part of it at all.
So
But like we
you
met right
weren't
after he had
Mormon.
left.
You didn't meet him on a mission and you're
Nope.
like just excommunicated. Okay. Well, help
No.
me understand if you
No, when
want.
he finished his well, when he finished, well, he was on his mission in Montreal. He was in Quebec, Quebec City and such. And so he learned French in 3 months, and he got out there, and they're like, "Oh, wow, you're the way you speak is really really good. How many years have been studying?" He's like 3 months, and they're like, "So they're like, absolutely not. This is insane." It's Mormons teach their kids how to learn how to learn a language insanely fast. He ended up teaching himself Spanish and German, and he started to teach himself Mandarin. Like he figured out whatever the thing is that you're supposed to do.
Wow.
He had this one family that was really that he go visit and preach to and stuff. And one of them like they gave him because he also learned to speak some Chinese because they went to like Chinatown in Quebec, and one family like offered their daughter to him. Like, would you like to stay here in Canada? She's in love with you. Here's your
And
name in our
how old is he at this
language.
point? 17, 16, 17? Is that how old he
He's
was?
18, 19. Yeah, you have to
18,
be 18 to go
19.
on your mission.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so you finish
Really?
high school, and instead of going to college right away, you go on your mission most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So he spent 2 years in Montreal,
yeah,
um, you know, missioning to
yeah.
people. Just, and I assume it's literally spreading the word, right? It's spreading the word of.
Yeah, they would like to. It's they'd like to get a certain amount of maybe converted people, or people are coming to the church more often, like because you brought them in, that kind of thing. Like it's salesy,
Yeah, I can
but
see that. Oh, I've had a few of them knock on my door before.
yeah,
Even growing up, I remember these. I remember asking my folks like, "Who are these boys in suits?" And
yeah, with their
and
short
on
sleeve, with their short sleeve
bicycles.
button ups.
Yeah, button-up shirts and bicycles. I was like, "This is like weird." I was like, "Are they Amish?" And my mom's like, "No, they're Mormon."
Oh, it's a different one.
No, it's a different one. So,
Yeah.
so this could be, I'm not going to poop on a religion. Honestly, I think most organized religions have a lot of problems, and I think Heather, of course, has alluded to many of the problems in the Mormon Church. Uh, you know, Lisa Mormon 2.0 seems to think that they're not really there,
Yeah, she's
but
cherry picked the nice things
yeah,
that
that's what I
she wanted to
figured.
keep
I
for
figure
it.
she's absolutely done that, which is interesting how John has remained relatively silent whenever that comes up. I find that interesting because he seems to
Yeah.
be more uh, orthodox
Yeah.
than Lisa. But Jack seems lost. Jack, he was playing basketball, on the court with his
Didn't want to go
mom
to
and
school.
talking. Yeah, he didn't know about college, and it seems almost like the deferred, like, well, this is just what I'm going to do then. And at least he felt accepted by his peers in the church. He did hide it from
He
Lisa,
told
and I did.
everybody else before he
Yes,
told his mom.
and that to me speaks volumes. And particularly every time Lisa talks about any kind of anxiety she has or any kind of inferiority, it's always about, am I a good mom? I think I'm a great mom. And that really showed us that communication just wasn't there. And she, at one point, said, I think they were getting pedicures, and she's like, I'm so glad that you
Mhm.
made this choice. And he's like, well, I made it without you. Like, don't
Yeah,
take credit
this
for this,
wasn't.
mom.
We didn't do this, mom.
Yes, we
I
did
did
this.
this. Like he wanted to. He wants to get away from her.
That's
Like she
that's my
wasn't.
vibe. Yeah, I'm feeling
Yeah,
that.
because
And
if he
it's like,
went to college, she would definitely be able to get to the college and go see him all the time. Like on a mission, she cannot go.
that's a fantastic point. You're right. Like if he just decided to go to the University of Utah or even UCLA or
Yeah,
something, she could just get on
BYU.
a
Yeah,
plane or a Sprinter van and be right there.
yeah.
But in this case, you're right. He's like, nope.
Take a
He's
private
like,
jet with Snoop Dogg.
yeah, that's right. Flying with Snoop Dogg. Yes. But you're right. I think that's fascinating. I'm glad you shared that. Thank your husband for allowing you to
Yeah.
shed some light on that. So Lisa, well, I don't think she's going to have a singing career. I really don't. The whole choir thing went down pretty fast.
Or a rap career.
Or a rap career, or whatever else she's thinking. She was less of the target of the controversy after she had the
Mhm.
hot mic moment. It seemed to quiet
Yeah.
down, and of course, so be it. But she's irritatingly self-centered. Everything comes back to her, and she never stops talking.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she's going to
It's
be
easy to just.
on
Yeah.
season 5 because she's
Yeah.
right in
She
the thick
can't
of it.
wait to keep talking about herself.
Oh my gosh. And the way, oh gosh, we'll get there. Well, no, I think Meredith might be next. We're going to make Meredith next because,
Yeah, Meredith's nice.
yeah, okay. Except Mary, but Mary was such a tangential
Mary,
figure.
but
We'll,
she
we'll come
wasn't even
back to her.
in. We don't. Yeah, we barely need to bring her up. Like she
Yeah,
wasn't really in it.
no, hardly at all. Meredith and Lisa
Yeah.
had a bit of a reconnect, or they're attempting to reconnect. Um,
Hmm.
Man, I was mad the way that Lisa was just hammering at Meredith on the boat in Bermuda. When Meredith's like, I
Yeah.
never said that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. And
Yeah,
she's like,
Monica
you're a
said all of
liar.
these things. Yeah, like Meredith said stuff like I could ruin them, but like that's she always says that stuff.
She does.
But Monica's the one who said all of the things.
All of it. And I
Yeah.
felt, okay, first of all, I've
I
always
was
known,
bamboozled.
what? Yeah, bamboozled. Bamboozled. Exactly. Exactly. Totally bamboozled.
Yeah.
I know firsthand what gaslighting is, and I think most people do
Mm.
too, even if they don't recognize it as such. I'm sure that whether
Yeah.
you have an intimate partner or a friend, you've experienced it. Um, but I've never seen, like, how you hear about criminals making false confessions. Like, you're like,
Yeah.
I would never understand why somebody would, admit to doing something they didn't do. And I've always
Mm.
been suspicious of that whole thing. But I saw the way in which everybody was telling Meredith, you've done this, you're lying, you've done this, you've done this, you've done this, you've
Yeah.
done this, you've done this. At one point, why wouldn't you just throw up your hands and go, fine, yeah, I did it, okay? Because
Sure.
it seemed like nobody
Okay.
was listening to her.
Can we talk about something else now, please?
Yes,
Fine.
yes. And I felt
Yeah.
for the first time, I was like, I can get it because she was under, plus she was sick when she got there, remember? She had
Yeah.
some kind of virus probably. And they just
Yeah.
piled
Yeah. She took a
on.
little too many of the pills too, and
Yes,
like it
too
just
many
quickened
benzos,
up
too
the whole
many,
situation.
100%.
Yeah.
but they piled on and they were relentless. And I felt for a moment, I could see how somebody under duress, just feeling that stress and strain and constant, like she said at one point, you know what, if you're going to just keep accusing me of doing it, I might as well do it. But then she didn't. You know, we
Yeah.
find out it's Monica, and we'll get to that. But I felt for
Yeah.
Meredith this season. I thought she was trying to be mature. I thought she was trying to rise above a lot of
Yeah.
garbage and be a better person. And I just think they were terribly unfair, especially Angie, who just seemed like a, I think, what did Meredith call her, a pit bull at the bar?
Yeah. She just wouldn't stop. And it's like, you don't know me. Why are you doing this?
Yeah. Yeah, and Meredith would
It's
do
just
the
weird.
adult thing, right? She'd kind of even move from her chair. She'd be like, I'm disengaging. Angie, I'm
I'm removing
disengaging.
myself from the situation.
Right. And then
Yeah.
Angie'd be right up in her face. What is it about me, Meredith? What are you going to say,
Yeah.
Meredith? What are you going to say, Meredith? And she's like, I'm disengaging. I'm not having this conversation. And
Yeah.
I was like, Meredith, I thought, deserved an award for just maintaining like her composure for most of the season. At
Yeah. She
least
didn't
for
throw a
one
glass at
episode.
anybody.
No, she didn't. She didn't throw a glass. She didn't throw a
Yeah.
punch. Right? We've seen that happen.
Yeah.
She didn't dump water on somebody else. But I think it's interesting to me that Angie was friends with Jen because I can totally see it. I could see their negative energy just feeding off of one another. But
Yeah. They just have a blast just ripping into everybody.
yeah, we didn't see a lot of the.
I vote that we
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't see much of the husbands. They were all just a lot.
Yeah, I think
The women were just too busy.
yeah, I think so too. Anything about Meredith I didn't touch? Something that comes up earlier on maybe that I forgot. Anything you want to throw out there about her?
No, I suggest that we go to Whitney next and leave Monica to the end.
Oh, I think that's really smart. Yeah, Monica
Yeah.
the climax of the show for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Whitney Rose. Whitney Rose. I think we
So
need to play a
Whitney.
drinking game every time we hear trauma. Um, I am not diminishing people's trauma. I recognize there are deep-seated wounds that need to be healed, and people
Yeah.
work through it.
She went through a lot of stuff, but
But not everybody
you're
has
an
to
adult
be
woman. You're
a
a
public.
mother.
Right.
Get your shit together.
Right. Right. And the public display of healing.
Yeah,
Constantly.
her and Angie, right? Oh no,
Mhm.
that was Monica and Angie. Never mind. We'll get
But
into
Whitney
that.
was talking about like with Lisa, and Lisa needed to get in touch with the feelings, and Mary needed to heal, and it's like she was
Yeah,
trying to
that Mary
heal
thing was
other
weird.
people. And
Hmm.
Justin, here's where I think we're going to see some stuff happen in season 5. I'm sensing tension,
Yeah.
mega tension between them. The idea that he's back at work, and she's like, "Well,
Yeah.
who's taking care of the kids?" And you don't make me feel valued, and I'm not going to have sex with you because I don't feel emotionally attached to you. And Justin's all about physical activity, as he's made
Yeah.
abundantly clear. Um, yeah, I don't know what's going to
Yeah.
happen with them. It'll be interesting to see if he checks out emotionally or otherwise. I don't know. But we didn't see her dad. We did see her mom in
I think
this
they're kind of
season.
I think yeah, I think they're financially like stuck together though. Like I don't think he's going to leave or be able
Yeah.
to leave. I think it's just going to be I think they're financially stuck together now at this point. Like it used to be that he had it, but like he's just starting out at a place and she's got her stuff going. So
You're right. And they
he's
talk
kind of
about
stuck.
the debt they shared because of her rebranding and all of that. You're right. They are kind of
Yeah.
linked financially. So, which may make for more drama because they can't walk out or leave or want to. They're
Yeah.
stuck. Ooh, that could be
Yeah.
tricky. Um, we did
Hmm.
meet her mom pretty briefly. Her dad does not still seem to be in the picture at this point. I don't remember Steve coming back at
No.
all. He's still a mystery. So, who knows? But let's trace Monica's steps first.
Oh my
Tell
goodness.
me what you thought when Monica first hit the scene, when she first had that lunch with Lisa and Heather, I think, at the cafe. I think that's when she was kind of
Yeah.
introduced. What did you think?
Uh or was it Angie? It was Angie
You're
and
right, Angie,
Monica
Lisa,
and
and
Lisa.
yes, good memory. Angie, Lisa, and
Yeah, it was
Monica.
like the intro of these two new characters kind of thing.
Yes.
Like that was the first start of it. And really great job with like we gave you a hint about it. Like Bravo was like, we gave you a hint about it, and because Angie was like, no, she used to look completely different, and they showed the picture of her like blonde and like completely different looking.
Yep.
She's like, is this really her? That's crazy.
Yep.
We tried to tell you, she's something's up.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah, it was very interesting because that popped up, and I thought that's strange. That's a
Yep.
really weird thing to like call into something, and then it just left my mind, and I felt bad for her, and her mom is terrible, and I'm sorry, no, you had an 18-month affair with your brother-in-law. You're not a good person.
Yeah.
You can cry about it and cry that you went into Louis Vuitton and bought a bag.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like other things I feel bad about, but like you're not you're not doing this. You're not acting like a human properly yet.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I have to say from the beginning, I thought it was weird. She seems significant, and is, I think, significantly younger than every other
Yeah.
housewife, save maybe Whitney, but I still think she's younger than Whitney.
Yeah.
Um,
Way less money.
way exactly. So she's younger. She's Portuguese, and
Hmm.
she's. I know Angie Katsanevas is Greek, but uh, in terms of ethnicity, she's lower on, you know,
Yeah.
their radar, if you will. She doesn't live in a big house, so she's lower
Yeah.
socioeconomically, ethnically, age, um, and to be fair, she
Single.
doesn't have any
She's not
status.
married.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No marital status. She doesn't have a husband with money. She doesn't have a big business. She has her
Yeah.
swaddling business. And she's been excommunicated from
Yeah.
a Mormon church with 4 children. So I'm like, why is she here?
Yeah.
Like, of all the
What's
people that
going on? Like
auditioned,
Bravo
yeah,
knew.
yeah, right? I mean, my spidey senses were tingling because of
Bravo
all the
knew.
people that would have auditioned to be on that show, she couldn't possibly have been the best choice unless she's
Yeah.
there just to stir the pot.
Yeah.
Which,
The other Angie could have been on it.
yes, yes, that's right. Why wasn't she back? Angie Harriman, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
she kind of fell off the radar. So I thought something was up, but I have to say, I liked her from the jump because she was so
Yeah.
different.
She's fun.
Yes, she was refreshing, she was candid, she didn't seem guarded or full of any kind of pretense. She seemed to be like,
Yeah.
what you see is what you get. And
She called people out.
yes, that was the first thing when she called Angie. First of all, Angie was her friend, right, who seemingly kind of
Hmm.
got her involved. That's how we get her introduced. When they went to
Yeah.
Palm Springs and Angie was acting a puss because she's all like, I don't know why Meredith didn't invite me and I have every right to be here now, blah, blah, blah. And she was being obnoxious. Monica's like,
Yeah.
shut up. Like to her face was like,
This
you
is
knock it
rude.
off. This is rude, right?
Yeah.
And I think I was so used to the previous seasons, the housewives tiptoeing around Jen Shaw. Because when Jen Shaw would get irritated, angry, or emotional, everybody never
Yeah.
called her or checked her on her crap. And this
Yeah.
was
They'd
the
like
first,
baby her and try to get her to feel better.
right, or validate. Even worse, like, oh
Yeah.
no, no, you're totally fine. It's okay, it's okay. You know, we're good. This was the first time I saw somebody who was brave, who's like, I don't,
Hmm.
no, I don't care if you're my friend and you're the reason I'm here. You're being a jerk. Knock it off. And I was like, dang, somebody has some, cojones in the Motel Trixie. This is fantastic. And she continued
Yeah.
to do that.
And
But
then the stuff
now,
with like Lisa, like calling out Lisa for like, stop saying that you have a $60,000 ring. I
oh
get
my
it. That sounds
God.
devastating, but
Yeah,
like
read the room,
you
Lisa.
keep
Read the
bragging about
room.
all the stuff you have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
crazy. I
that was
mean,
so
she's the only one
stupid.
in the room that would be a thrifting person and have to, save and stuff. So the room that
100%.
Monica's in is not the room that America's in. So
Exactly.
you read the room too,
Exactly.
Monica.
Exactly. Exactly. But I was like, okay, where's this coming from? Like, where's her leverage? Like, the whole time I kept thinking, are you just that incredibly secure as a person that you're willing to point out the flaws and call these people on their crap? Which, to be fair, when
Yeah.
you're at a significantly lower status than other people in a group,
That's terrifying.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
very rare to be the one to speak up. So I always was like, what's going on? Like, where does she come up with this bravado? I'm very impressed. And now I think by the
Yeah.
end of the season we get it because she really didn't have as much to lose. She was already holding all the cards. If she was behind, even as part of a team, if she was behind, because knowledge is the ultimate power in status, right?
Yeah,
And
so she's getting
influence.
so much extra information. She's there when the cameras are off.
Exactly. It
She
was
has
it was a
everything.
game for her. I think it really was a
Yeah.
game, and I don't think there wasn't a lot of skin in the fight. Like she didn't care if she pissed off Angie. She's just there to get the
Yeah.
beats so that she can leverage it later. And now it makes more sense how
Yeah.
she could afford to be so cavalier with those relationships. She wasn't risking a lot, really. And I was like,
Yeah.
I think that was
I was
very interesting.
so Yeah, I was so surprised that the women agreed to have her there for the reunion.
Yeah, but I can't imagine Bravo would have not.
I thought, yeah, they would been like, she has to be here. We are going to be talking about her, so she has to be here.
So
But I think the stuff with her mom was real. I think her mom is insane.
100%, 100%. Oh, absolutely. And her
I
kids. I
think
mean, her
she
oldest,
exaggerated some stories, but the way her mom was acting, I think her mom
well,
is a narcissist.
hundred
Maybe some
percent,
stories were exaggerated, but yeah,
hundred percent.
I
But
think
the
her mom
mom
is
admitted,
insane.
she admitted to some of that, right? Like, remember they were out to dinner, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, you sat me in the trunk while you made out with the guy." And she's like, "I'm sorry, I kissed a
That
boy
was one time.
one time."
It was like,
I was
what?
like, "What?" Yeah, it's like, "I'm sorry, you got, wasted and drunk, and brought over 10 guys, and had it had an
Yeah.
orgy when I was 5. That was one time." It's like, no, it's like
Yeah.
sometimes one
No,
time is too
no,
many
it's too
times.
many times.
Boy. So I think she has
Yeah.
had a pretty dumpy life. It seems, although, well, I'll pick up on that in a minute. I want to come back to, like, did you ever see Reality Von Teese's posts? Have you been that much of a Reality Housewives
No.
Bravo fan to be part of that extra, like, extracurricular
No,
social media stuff?
this is the first show that I've been watching of theirs, so I'm starting to get some more of their stuff because I had
Yeah, the
looked at like
algorithms are kicking
Shaw's
you
the video
stuff.
like the recording. Yeah, they're kicking in a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
I never saw it,
but
but I
I've
was
never seen any reality. I didn't want to look it up.
me
Yeah,
either. Me either. But I do
I
believe
wasn't gonna give them that.
right, right, exactly. No, I'm with you too. I did not look it up.
Yeah,
I garnered from context clues what it was about. And I'm listening.
yeah,
It seems that I do believe from Monica's perspective, she just seems, yeah, she's off the rails a little bit sometimes, but she seems believable in that it was all created to entrap Jen Shaw and to expose all of the crap she'd been getting away with for so very long, and that these other women happen to be
yeah,
kind of collateral damage because they happened to be on the show. Because I think she had been involved with Jen before the show, and so this was just a continuation of that relationship. And so I think these women just got in the way. And of course, if you can
yeah.
feed the meter on social media, you're going to do it. So I think she just got caught up. But I have a feeling she was a team, right? Tanisha, Heather's hairdresser, was behind it, and somebody else.
Hairdresser, who was Jen's hairdresser too,
Right.
and some other people. I think it was people that were close to Jen, and to not get it like fully shut down and have it be just Jen focused, they probably put other stories in that they'd gotten
Right.
from being
Right.
in the zeitgeist in like
Right.
the area of them, so that they were like, we're I just write about all the reality stuff, so that it
Right.
couldn't be
Kind of a cover up. So it
obvious that
doesn't
who they
seem,
were.
yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't seem like you've targeted, like you're
but
not the disgruntled employee,
wow,
so you're going to spread it out. Um, I
yeah,
mean,
and like didn't deny it, like the
no,
way that she's just like, I mean, I'm not the only one that does it. It's like, whoa. Like most of
I
these
know.
times when they get caught with doing something, like I never said that. She's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm not the only one that's in it, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah,
Good job. You found
again,
out.
she was
Congrats.
kind of straight up. She kind of like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay, you caught me. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I know. Again, I kind of like that about her. She just, I have to say too, Andy. I just finished watching the reunion episode just as a quick refresher. Just the last
Yeah.
one. It's a 3-part reunion for folks that are
Yeah. There's so
listening.
much.
So that shows you how chaotic the season was that they had to break it into 3 reunion episodes. But I just watched the
Yeah.
last one. And when I could hear people talk, because Angie and Monica were
Oh
yelling
my
for like
god.
50% of the episode, Andy gave them a chance to kind of say, how has this, like, how did that site, that Instagram site, hurt you? Like, what was said? And there
Hmm.
wasn't a lot revealed. I mean, Heather was mad that Monica or whomever, Reality Von Teese, had reposted things that were hurtful. Um,
Yeah.
that they, but I didn't see anything that was so damaging. But again, I don't know how many DMs they got. I don't know how many tags they got. I don't know how much hate they got. At the same time, I think they're all aware that when you sign up for the show, that's a big part of it, is the social media.
Yeah. That's the biggest complaint
Yeah.
apparently that any of them have is just like how they just get dragged online. Like they will not.
And yet, I have to say it.
Dude, they're constantly going to be teased.
Yeah, but that's the popularity of it too, isn't it? Isn't it a
Yeah, that's
double-edged
just
sword?
what being on TV is.
Yeah, if you're on reality TV, you're going to get haters and you're going to get people
Yeah.
slinging crap, and it's part of what you sign up for. And I mean, not that you and I have experienced that personally, but I know other contestants from our show. People would say things on
Oh
Reddit or
yeah,
they would
people
say
rag
things
on
on
them.
Instagram. And I'm like, are you kidding
Yeah.
me? We were just like on a competition game show. Like, and I'm like, I imagine
Yeah.
it's real, you know? But then again, honestly, I got to say, look, you can blame editors and producers all you want, but at the end of the day, you say the things you say. And there's things that
Yeah.
Lisa Barlow says that I'm like, how do you not expect clapback from
They're
that?
insane. Stuff that comes out of that woman's mouth, like she's so out of touch and just
Right?
doesn't
So you have to
care.
expect, like, this is who you are. Like,
But
they're
woe is
reacting.
me constantly.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yes, her life is so hard. She works so hard for everything. I'm sure you do, Lisa.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, but
Monica,
come
I
on.
don't know. Monica's mom is AWOL. She apparently, threw under the bus to her family in Bermuda. She's got her four
Yeah.
daughters. The oldest seems to have her head on her shoulders. I think she's going to turn out just fine. I heard,
Yeah, unfortunately she has to be the mom to her mom.
yeah, I was going to say that when she called her up, she was the one who was talking Monica off the ledge about, the emotional hurt she was
Yeah.
feeling. And I'm like, and those three little girls that she's kind of taking care of in her mom's absence. I think she's got a lot on her
Yeah.
plate. Um,
Driving them around, picking them up for stuff, like
yeah, that's a lot to put on a
oof.
teenager, I
Oof.
think. We did find out
Yeah.
that I don't think Monica's hurting for money, right? I mean, we found out in the reunion episode. I think after the math is done, because I calculated the math based on that and what I found online, she gets like $6,600 a month, um, which is not little money. Now,
Yeah.
it's not
That's not
housewife money, but
yeah, that's not
it's
something
more
to
than
be concerned about.
it's a comfortable living. So I don't think she's
Yeah.
really struggling, but I'll be curious to see what happens in the next season. I mean, none of the other housewives after the reunion seem to have any hope to rebuild trust or any desire to become friends
Yeah. I don't
or
know if
anything.
she's gonna be back. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
either.
I think that was just the storyline for the season. I think it's gonna go to something else now because I
Yeah,
don't think she can come back.
but I know I've heard season 5. I don't know who's on it, but I've heard it's also very good, and I'm like, I don't know how they're going to do it. Like you said, how do you go from
How are they doing this?
incarcerating a felon, right, to revealing
Yeah.
a troll system, that, 2-year long troll, crusade, and then what's next? I
Yeah.
don't know, but I'm sure it's Meredith, Heather, and Lisa. I think Andy said, Mary, you're coming back next season, and Mary's like, I don't know. She said something vague and elusive.
Yeah, I don't see Bravo wanting to give her that money when she
No.
does absolutely nothing.
Well, and for crying out loud, the only thing we'll say about Mary, we'll give her 2 seconds. What's this thing about? Tell me your thoughts on Robert, please. What the heck's going
Oh
on
my
with
God, how
that?
weird is that? He lives in their home. He lives in her home,
With his
Robert
wife?
Jr., right?
Yes, Robert
With
Jr.
his wife,
Yes,
who's been married for a year.
yeah,
What?
and she didn't even know. Apparently,
These moms, it's literally underneath their noses, and these moms do not know what's going on. And that's just like, but your sons are the end all be all of your life, but you don't know that they're married in the
right,
room next to you?
right, right. And so Robert Senior's been in Florida since what, season 1? I mean, I don't think he's ever coming back.
Yeah,
But Robert Jr. She
yeah.
said something like,
If he
"Well."
doesn't make the long grain rice, then he's not coming back.
I forgot about that.
Random things I remember about the show suddenly. Oh my
So
God.
funny. That is so funny. Yeah, you're totally
Oh,
right. She said he like lives. He goes, yeah, but they. She said, I think they sleep in the other wing of the house, so I don't even see him. I'm like, what? How did your son live with you?
your Dr. Seuss home.
Right, with the Dr. Seuss chairs, which she thought was the worst insult possible, far worse than calling someone inbred. That cracked me up.
Yeah.
She's like, no, my chairs. That's way worse. Calling, making fun of my home. I'm like,
Your furniture, we insulted your I'm sorry. We've
yeah, Mary.
insulted your furniture. That's a
I
step too
don't know
far.
what's going on. I know Robert seems, quite frankly, intoxicated or high
Yeah.
every time he's on.
Yeah.
He moves like a sloth. He doesn't
Yeah.
speak a
He
lot.
hasn't had to do anything.
He
Yeah.
doesn't. And I'm like, dang, Mary. Like, if anybody's parenting is going to come under fire, I mean, I don't know. I got to say, she's at the top of my list. Let's get in touch,
Right?
Mary. I don't know what's going to happen. So,
Figure it out, kid.
yeah. Do you have any
Yeah.
predictions for season 5? Any predictions?
I've learned that I cannot figure out this show until it just happens.
I was gonna say that too. I was
I
gonna
don't know
say,
what's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna get arrested. I think somebody's gonna get arrested again. Somebody's gonna
okay,
be investigated for something. I'm gonna go with that one.
all right. Somebody's gonna get arrested. Let me think.
Hmm.
I think I think something's gonna blow up with Justin and Whitney. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I think Meredith is gonna continue to be just like a stronger, stable force, but
Unhinged.
which I
Yeah.
don't know. I want to see. I don't know. I think we're gonna hear something. Well, Jack. Okay, if Jack went on. No, wait. We learned that Jack doesn't go on his mission yet, right? Because he got held up
No,
because
he went to California.
yeah, he sent like a shirtless
Yeah.
pic for his passport or something, and he ended up or his visa, and he ended up getting that delayed. So he won't be back in time. So we're gonna hear a lot of Lisa's boo-hooing. I'm missing Jack. That's gonna be a ton of her
Yeah.
story, I think.
When her other son is sitting right there asking, "Can I please get a Dr. Pepper and a
Yeah.
McFlurry, please, mommy?"
Yes, yes. She
Just
will
the
continue.
gauntlet of food that they
Yes,
get.
she will continue to mainline Diet Coke.
Yeah. And Skittles. Uh-oh.
Stella, last night was a special occasion. That's why you got steak. Doesn't mean you get steak every day. Go ahead, eat your breakfast. Yeah, I don't have your time. You're a big cozy girl. And you smell the night's just begun. And I'm under the sheets. It's where I belong down at the big cozy ground.
Oh, for crying out loud. We're going to be able to
All right.
splice that in a second. But yeah, apparently my computer decided to reboot on us. So sorry everybody who's anybody who was watching live on YouTube, but this will be cleaned up for the actual podcast. Uh, anyway, we were just getting ready to wrap that up. I think you're right, Maggie.
Yeah.
It's really hard to make predictions because this show is so unpredictable, which is
It's
what
wonderful.
I think makes it so fun to watch. So
Yeah.
I'm stoked to binge season 5. Right, it's all cute and canned and ready to go on Bravo. So I
Yeah.
think you and I've got some homework to do, and then
Yes. I'm
we
so
will
excited to
be.
get into it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really can't. And then we'll be back to share our thoughts with all of you. So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight, and let's hope that Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 5 brings if it brings even half the drama of season 4, it's going to be one heck of a fun ride. All right, Maggie, thanks again for joining.
Exhausting.
It is. It is. I
Thank you.
appreciate you, and I will see you soon.
Yes.
Okay. So, 1 second. I don't know what happened. My computer just goes restarting now. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And it says, add a marker. Like the stop recording button isn't there, which makes me wonder if that last minute even recorded, which it might not have. But like I said, this is more for you and me. And if somebody else wants to speak or watch us, then that's gravy. I do think we have
That's
major
cool.
Real Housewives fans on season 3 of The Floor. I don't know if you're watching
Oh,
season
nice.
3, but Alex and Ira and a couple other people really love it. So he said he might tune in, and I was like, okay, all right, let me.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. It says when the recording is done. I know, I get you. I'm trying to stop the recording, but I don't want to just log off. Okay, I hit leave, and then it said your recording has been uploaded. So I'm going to go with
Okay.
that and assume that we're just fine. So I'm going to let you go. Thank your husband again. What's his name again? Chris? No.
Alan.
Alan. Thank Alan again for just giving us a little perspective.
Yeah.
For your sake, I'm glad he's not seemingly not entrenched in that anymore. And
Nope.
but I'm sure he had a tough time breaking away from it. So I'm glad you were able to share some of that insight. So thank you very
Yeah.
much.
It's very interesting.
All right, girl. I'm actually, I'm
I'll
wound
forget
up.
that
So
was some homework.
what?
All right.
All right, take it easy. I'm gonna go watch
Well, you have a good night.
episode 1. So I'm gonna go watch season 5. All right.
Yes.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, cool.
Bye, girl.
Talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye. So good that somebody should feed me.
Oh, no way. Well, Dad came home not get dinner. Dad's the best.